Recording in progress.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. Let's start the session. So yesterday we discussed about building and deployment React applications. So build and deploy, how to build and deploy. So using Firebase, I showed you how deployment happens, how the deployment process works actually. Now after understanding the deployment, one more concept we will see here is React Native. So we will see one simple example, React Native. So actually React Native is nothing but it is a cross-platform library for building. We can build mobile native applications. So we can build mobile native applications by using this cross-platform library. We can do that, right? So technically, we have learned about how the deployment works and feature works here. And now we are building a native application. So building a native application it requires knowledge of mobile platforms actually. So unified, what is advantage is actually we are developing progressive web applications by using this PWA. So that means progressive web applications. So the progressive web applications, what is the advantage of this is they give a unified user experience. Unified experience across devices. Across devices, you can have a unified experience. Generally, we call as unified user experience, unified UX. So the application have the same behavior across all devices. Android and iOS native applications we can build. So Android, so iOS, and not only that, Windows native applications. So we can build by using this React Native. So it provides actually, provides native components, we call them as. It provides the native components which can run on any device. So you need to know a simple approach here. This is for the people who are completely aware of mobile development actually. So we will see a simple process how this native application is used and built. Actually, here you have ready-made components which you can use and make the application suitable for all devices. Actually, we learned how to build our own components, and we learned about how we can view the components, means use the predefined components. But like React material UI components. But native components advantage is they are suitable across various mobile environments, various mobile platforms. So we have some specialized components here, like actually I will give a table in the notes. Actually, we have React native UI component. So we have an this component actually uses an Android and iOS. So, and in general web, how it works. Actually, we have a component view, that is a React native component. In Android, it uses as view group actually, it uses as view group. In iOS, it uses as UI view. And actually in our web development, it is nothing but in our web development, it is a div actually. So that means you are using a div as a container that supports layout like flex, touch, hand, etc. So when you design for web in React, you generally use a div for container. Now when you are designing for mobile, Android, iOS, then for that you, instead of div, we have to use this view component. So this is the flexible component, have a unified experience across device. Similarly, so we have a text, which is a native component. On Android, it is text view actually. And on iOS, it is UI text view. It is UI text view. And on web, actually, this resembles a simple paragraph. If you want to display a paragraph like, then you can use this. Similarly, you have an image component actually. It's not IMG actual, image component. So we have here image view in Android. We have an UI image view in iOS, which is actually in web IMG. That means here in your React native, same components will be there, function components, class components, all your React hooks will be working in a similar way. Now what you have to do here is simply you need to understand the new components which are suitable for mobile development. So, and you should know what is this in general web. If you can classify the difference, you can understand the difference, then you can easily implement them. So, for example, here we have a scroll view. Actually, scroll view is nothing but in web, it is a div, so which contains scrollable. So there is scrollable div. Scrollable div means we put height, we put auto overflow as auto, then automatically it becomes scrollable actually. Here we have a ready-made component for that. Similarly, if you want a text box input, so we have to use text input. I will give a table where you have this Android, iOS differences also. So text input is nothing but it is in your web, you are designing an input type text. So the same here we have to use text. So you have to configure with text. So similarly, we have a style sheet. Style sheet is used to configure a CSS file. Similarly, we have a switch. So we have a flat list, right? So we have several other tools, like we have a section list. I think we have also an alert is there. So just like a model pop-up. Alert is embedded. To give a pop-up, you have model like components. We have status bar like components. So many native components will be available. So what is new for web mobile development is actually these components are new. So you can go through these components, their functionality, their behavior. You can explore these components from the official sources. So what you use it for web and what is used in React Native. If you can get that clarity, then you can easily build a simple application here. Right. So now we will see how we can create a React Native application. A simple overview on that, how you can build that. Actually, to build React Native applications, React Native app application is controlled by using, so it is controlled by using an CLI called Echo. We have an Expo CLI actually. This is responsible for, CLI is command line tool. So it is a command line tool which you have to install in your PC. It will provide all the commands for creating React Native projects and managing them. Actually, it is a command line tool. So this command line tool provides some commands through which you can easily create the projects, manage your native projects and all. Generally, if you want to test this, I will show you in a browser, but actually what you have to do is you can use mobile simulators. Mobile emulators, you can use mobile simulators. Actually, in order to test, you can even synchronize your mobile device. Actually, we have Android Studio. You can download this Android Studio for, and you can set up your environment. You can link your mobile devices also. And you can test your apps directly on your mobile actually. But this is for the people completely who are involved in mobile development. So this is, you can use this Android Studio. So actually currently not required, just I'm giving an overview of developments of that application. So that is for web mobile developers actually. You can use it for synchronizing your devices, and you can even test your application on that. So here I will show you, suppose how we can set up, create a project, simple approach here. Suppose you see I'm using the Expo in it. So I will install this Expo library from your command prompt. So in your computer, you have to install globally Expo CLI. Expo CLI. So if you install this on your PC, then you can use it for creating React Native apps. So just what you have to do is, let's open the command prompt, and here we are using npm install globally Expo CLI. Right. So this is downloading and installing that Expo CLI. So once this is installed, this command line, so this allows you to create, configure, just like we used npx. Actually, npx is a command line. So from where we created React projects, we managed the React projects through commands we can run. This is for React native. So you need to install this Expo CLI. You can use any mobile environment like Ionic, like native script as I showed you in the previous session. So we have various environments. You can check, you can use any framework actually. As I showed you that we have different frameworks like Ionic like frameworks. You can try this Ionic framework. So, and you can build. For that, you need to set up your environment, configure it. So I will show overview how it happens actually. So let's go with this first, this CLI. Once you get installed with this Expo CLI, what you have to do is you need to create a new React Native application, React Native app. That's very simple. You have to run the command. So where you want to create an app, just you have to use in any location where you want to create the app, just you have to use expo init. You have to use the command expo init and you have to define the app name. So this is a React application integrated with React Native components actually. So it's a React application. You are creating a React application using React Native components. So these native components will allow you to create applications which are suitable for mobile environment. So once you created this, let's see how we can run it and how we can use it. This is getting ready. Let's hit install completely. So in order to work with this application components, you need to explore all these React Native components. You will have a component library available in the official source. So React Native. Yeah. So this is the React Native official. You can see the components here. So you have to just learn these components. You have to know how do we integrate the components, iOS specific, Android specific components. So you can go through these, suppose we have basic components like you see view, text, image, text input, scroll views as I showed you. These are predefined components. Just you can explore these components. You can see how the components are configured and defined. what are their properties, and you can implement. That's what actually your mobile development teaches you. So how to use various libraries, because generally mobile requires mobile components, they requires integration with your mobile apps which are running on your mobile. They need to connect with them, like they need to invoke your hardware like camera, like dialer, phone dialers. For that you need a special library. That library so connects, you create a camera button and click on the camera button, it have to launch the camera that is on your mobile. So this all requires a lot of mobile libraries to include and work with them. It's not just building the UI, because building UI you can easily do it with your React knowledge, but in the background to invoke the hardware to communicate, that means you took a photo, you have to save this in the gallery so that again they can be viewed. All such requires so many additional libraries actually. I will show you one point here. So it's done. So this is successfully installed. Now we can create a React Native app. For that we have to go to any drive. I will just create Expo in it, and I will say some mobile shopping, something like this. Yeah, so this is mobile shopping we are creating. So it is creating an option. Now the first step, it is asking what type you want here. So actually blank means templates. Actually it is asking to choose a template. Here you have to choose. If you choose a blank template, that means you can add whatever language you want to, like you can build with JavaScript or you can build with TypeScript. Everything you need to manually add and configure. You can take a blank TypeScript one. So there additional, you have to add all the components manually, design the component libraries and use them. There is a tabs one. This will be good for you, because if you are already involved in mobile development, then blank is okay for you. But you are not sure about any mobile development and anything, then just you need to see how it looks like, how do we use React in this, then just you can go with this tabs. That will be better for you. So once you choose this, so you select a template. So choose TypeScript tabs template. That will be good for you. Template that is good for you. So you can choose this. So tabs and enter. It is creating a project now. It is installing all the packages. So it is actually creating a React application only. You will see complete environment is React. You can see the file system architecture. It is completely React application. The library is TypeScript library, and the component library is React Native component library. So you can use all the native components and build the applications that looks good for mobile. So what is the advantage of choosing this tabs template is it will give you some predefined screens. So that will help you to in understanding how actually an application looks like, instead of building everything from scratch. So that is for people who are already aware of the complete mobile environment, what the libraries they need, from where they have to install, and the same type of approach you have to follow with other mobile frameworks we are having. Like you can use Ionic or NativeScript, like similar approach. Their components are different. Here React Native have some components which I showed you, list, view, image and all. Similarly, Ionic have its own components. NativeScript have its own components. So those components allow you to build the application suitable for them. So components will be changing. Depending on various frameworks, the component will be changing. So what mobile development teaches you is about how do you use those mobile libraries, especially the libraries that are required to interact with your existing mobile apps which are natively built on your mobile. And not only that, controlling your mobile hardware like volume, like dialers, like camera and all these things. Yeah, it's done. So once it is ready, so your project is ready, so we can just use. You have a few commands here, right? So these commands are important. This is for Android, iOS. If you have those simulators, then you can simply use these commands: npm run Android, npm run iOS. For that, you need to download them. Huh? So you can just check once how it looks like, the environment, how it is. You need to just explore and use the components required for them. So let's see. Let's open this on Visual Studio Code. So let's open in Visual Studio Code. Yeah, that is we created as mobile app actually. So in D mobile app, mobile shopping, yeah. And you can observe interestingly here, entire environment majority looks like you are just is React application only. Additionally, because you selected a template, you will get some additional options like components, like constants, like hooks, like navigation, like screens. Actually, these are all template based, readily with a template. If you select an empty one, then just you will have your basic library available. So basic library is actually, you see, there is this app.tsx file. This app.tsx file, so that is the startup file actually. So it is configured here, and you can start with your application. You have ready-made components here. We have some ready-made components available here. Some predefined hooks are available, and some contracts, maybe constants, is having some default, some properties. Some navigation related, you can see here, this is index.tsx. And here everything is imported, configured. And it is using these, remember these components all are React native components. So by using those components only, this application is built. So this is the entire library that looks like how it is. Right? Just what you have to do is, for example, see, just now we will run this and see how it looks like. That means what is the look, how it looks like, right? See. So we will go here. Let's run this application. So npm start. Now this actually have to run on two terminals generally. So one, it opens you can see a QR code is coming here. Actually, this QR code is for scanning. This QR code will allow you to run this directly on your mobile. But for that, you need to install the mobile simulators on your mobile. So that will help you to directly scan and run this project on your mobile, but your mobile need to be synchronized first. I showed you Android Studio. Through that, you can synchronize your mobiles and you can use them. So that you can scan this directly, your project runs on your mobile and you can see the look how it works. Let's try on a simple mobile simulator here. Actually, in Chrome browser, you can download and have a mobile simulator. It is not done. It is still loading the component actually. On this port number, this is the port number it generates. It will launch automatically. Actually, it will take a while. So it will launch. By default, it launches on the browser actually. So if you have mobile simulators, you can test on those mobile simulators. It's taking too long. Once we'll check this. It's not yet ready. So yeah, it started it. So some port number it is running. Yeah. Yeah, finish. It took little long. Oh, fine. It is done. It is successfully built. And you see here, it is waiting on this particular port number. Let's access this, means this IP address. So on this IP address, it is waiting. Just open this launch. Yes, this is it. This is the, already it is launched, right? Yes. So this is the page it launches. It looks normal. This is the page that you have. And you see, this is just web. It is not any mobile. This is just the tab one. Some message is there. And you see this screen is actually coming from screens tab one. You can modify that. So this is tab 2. So it is coming from tab 2 TSX file. Let's open in a mobile simulator. So I will copy this and let me open my Chrome app. In this Chrome app, we have a mobile simulator here. So this is, yeah, the URL I will paste here. This is the mobile simulator actually. In this, just a simulator is there. And you can see you have these two tabs here, this, the orientation of the device here. And you can see here, if you want to customize this is default pages out there. So we know how to add the pages, but here routing, here navigation between the components, everything is different because it uses its own component library. So for routing, for navigation, everything, it have a different component library. Let's go to the screens here. So in the screens, this is tab 1 screen. Tab 1 screen, you can see it is using a simple view. View is nothing but it is a div. And it has one text. I will just keep here as suppose mobile shopping. That is the title. Text is, as I showed you in the components list, it is a simple component. And here we have some effects. These are all styles configured here. And this is tab 1 screen. That is the path it is coming from. These are some styles defined, font, styles, height, all the CSS are configured here. Now you need to know these components to design and keep the contents, you need to know these components. This is shopping, mobile shopping. Okay, let's go to the 2. And in this, I just put this as suppose mobile as a gallery, something like this. The title so I given for that. And you can see the output. It shows in this way, mobile shopping is this. And this is the tab 2 that is having the gallery. The title is defined here. All these contents you can change now. So that means you can change these icons you have. Tab 1, tab 2. These are the default icons you are having. You can change those icons. You can customize the appearance. You can see we have other screens here. So the screens, so that will show you with all the components designed for your mobile environment. These are all the components. In app dot, you can see it is using some predefined hooks. It is having all the hooks designed for importing the colors, effects, themes, and all. And you can see all the navigation part. We have an index.ts file. So in this, you can see color themes, what it is using, the default screen appearance at the navigation bar, what is the text to be displayed. So bottom tab screen is a component actually. It is having the title as tab 1. Suppose I said shopping home. That is the title I am changing there, right? And you can change these titles. This is actually Font Awesome is nothing but, Font Awesome is a library for styles of icons. It is using that Font Awesome library. So you can use that library and you can keep some different images, means icons at the bottom of your screen. You can display them. This is like suppose gallery is the same. Second one, this is. You have to know all these components. This is, you see tab bar icon is there. The tab bar icon is having an icon called code. We will see any another icons are there. Suppose you have so many icons, Font Awesome icons will be there. Like I have like camera. Let's see, camera is there. Yeah. So these icons actually, if you are using, you have to import them. So from the libraries, you have to import those from the icons. Then only you can use them actually. So this is Font Awesome icons coming from vector icons. You can use Bootstrap icons and others also. You can see the camera icon comes here. We have that icon here. So you can change the tab bar icons, whatever. So another icon is there. This is for tab 1 actually. So I think we have a call or set dial. You have dial? No. So let's see what components it is having here. So you have some libraries for some different options are there. So we have some like batteries. Is there some option home like options will be there? Yeah, you can see I have those icons. Those icons you can configure and define. And when user clicks on that, then that detail will open and show here the screens. This is for complete mobile environment actually. So you see this is compatible and this is responsive. And it fits because media queries are already written. It fits according to the device you are using. So here complete library is different actually. So your React knowledge will help you in creating hooks, in creating components, in creating the logic to function. But you need to learn a lot of React native components. By using those React native components only, you can manage the complete functionality. Right? So this is a simple overview to make you understand that. So that is how actually React is used in a general application. Right? So that means React Native is a framework which provides you all these components. So people who are involved in mobile development, they need to learn all these components from the basic designing of a container to designing of complex interfaces. Every component is different here. So that means you cannot use your HTML components like div, image, paragraphs, and all these. So that means even designing a container to complex, everything requires the knowledge of components built by React Native library actually. So that is one important. So you can try this. This is just an overview given to you to make you understand that that's how the applications are built and they are used for mobile environment. These are progressive web applications. So your rest of functionalities will be similar. Like suppose you want to create some logic to get data from an API, fetch that and display here in a JSON. Then all your basic React hooks will be common. So your hooks, your third-party libraries integration with native apps will be similar. Just the components libraries will be different. So whatever the components are there, you have to learn those components here. This is just to make you understand about the overview of what is React Native, what's its purpose is, right? So we will not learn any React Native here, just an overview I given to you to understand. Same thing you can do with Ionic also. So Ionic or other frameworks, you can try them by yourself. So once you know this native, same here also. You just need to know how to download, install, and how the Ionic React application works. Because Ionic is not only for React, you can use for Vue, you can use for Angular, you can use in a general JavaScript environment also. So actually for Ionic, again, you have to install separate tools and you need to handle them. So I will show you here one simple process here. You can use Ionic, you can use. So along with the other native also. You see here, means just the process I've been showing here. So for if you are trying with Ionic framework, right? So when you are dealing with Ionic framework, so Ionic framework requires separate installation configurations. Let's check their official source here. So for React, yeah, what you need to do is I will just give the point here. Actually, you have to install npm install. Ionic also have a CLI globally. So at the net Ionic CLI, actually you have to install this. And Ionic CLI, along with Ionic CLI, it uses a runtime environment. We need a runtime environment for Ionic. You have to install that runtime environment also. npm install globally native run. And you need Cordova also. So Cordova repositories also you need. These two you need to set up for using Ionic. So creating an application and running that application is similar to native. But so native, this additionally you need this. You need to install this. You need again a Ionic CLI. You need to install Cordova. Cordova is nothing but actually it is a cross-platform framework for mobile apps. So you need to install this. Ionic uses this Cordova, Apache Cordova. You have to set up these two actually. Then what you can do is in Ionic also creating app. So after you install, you can simply go to Ionic, any drive where you want to create the project, you can simply use Ionic. And it uses a start command. You can give your app name. And here also we have blank templates, tabs based templates. I just use tabs here. And we can use the template type. Template type is because Ionic is used for React, Angular. So we have to use a React type as React. We can use for React or Angular or Vue like technologies. And one more, actually, Ionic uses a library called Capacitor. This Capacitor library is used by mobile apps actually for invoking the mobile hardware, like camera, like other sensors on mobile. So to do that, we need a capacitor actually. So Ionic uses this capacitor additionally. So you have to install that, you have to do it. And one more is, in order to work with Ionic framework, you need to install Ionic Progressive Web Applications framework also. Actually, we have npm install Ionic Progressive Web Applications elements. You need this. This you have to do in a project. So in project, you have to install this additionally so that it will give you to build progressive applications. So, and run in the project here, run the project is command is little different. Just you have to use Ionic serve. To run the project, you have to use Ionic serve. Now, rest of environment will be similar to this you have seen, but its components are different again. How you have seen this React Native, same it looks similar. Tab based it will come. You can have icons, navigation, everything will be there. Just what you have to do is, there you have to use different set of components. Here the components are, so the components that we added are related to React Native. That is, view is a component, text is a component. And Ionic have separate component library. So you go to the Ionic UI components, you can see this is the components. These are separate Ionic components, same like material components you have. And you have to use all these components. So if you want navigation here, routing will not work. You have to use these navigation libraries, both in React Native and here you have to use these navigation components actually. It is a complete set of environment. It is a complete set of environment to work with. What your React helps here is, your React helps here in configuring the components, writing the logic for the components, and using the hooks that you have used. So this React knowledge will help in this environment. But learning this is complete new. You have to learn everything from the scratch, like how to design a container, how to put the icons, how to invoke the device related components. All these are required. Your TypeScript and React knowledge helps you in designing all this, right? This is, you can try this because again, it takes same process like React Native. So this is a different framework. Like this, we have native script and other types of frameworks also used in mobile development. This is just to make you understand how React involves in mobile development, building in progressive web applications, like not only just single page applications, just to have an idea on that. Now, after knowing this and trying this, now we will see two more things here. So that is, what changes, what are the changes in the 18 version. That means what new changes they made in this 18 version that you have to do. Because remember, already you learned all the advanced features and hooks that are available and used. Some changes are not drastical changes in React 18. Only few changes are related to the performance, the behavior of application. So that is the reason you need to know. So what as a developer you have to know about the 18 changes, what's new here. And we will see how a React application can be built with a scratch, right? An empty application, how we build. That's where you will get a basic idea on understanding about a concept called Webpack. What is that Webpack tool chain, how it works. These two things are the last topics of our concept. So with that, we can finish all this concept of React. So what changes are in 7.18 newly added? Because you have learned so 18 only, and with all the changes advanced that happened in hooks, that happened in various effects and all. Just additionally, what performance related changes they are making in the library, they are what is their roadmap of 18 and higher versions, that we will see what changes they are making, what you have to know as a developer in 18. Then we will see how do we build a Webpack application completely blank. These two things we will see in tomorrow's session, right? So tomorrow we will finish this, okay? In tomorrow session, we will discuss these changes and I will show you an application, how do we build with a complete Webpack, okay? That will be the last session for us, okay? Then I can give you some sample applications, projects for practicing. You can try them, okay? Tomorrow we'll continue with this. Tomorrow we will finish and wrap this entire concept, right?